When did you realize, at what age did you realize that you were good at fighting?
Well, what age did I mean, I'm Irish. We're all good at fighting.
Backstage, I'm starting fights off everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
I'll have to ask my account.
Conor McGregor is one of the most iconic fighters in UFC history. A man who went from welfare checks in Dublin to becoming a two-division world champion and a global superstar. He talked the talk, he walked the walk, and for years, everything he touched turned to gold. But as fast as he rose, Conor has collected just as many humiliations outside the cage. Scandals and defeats that turned the once-beloved Notorious into one of the most divisive figures in sports. It all started with the Mayweather fight in 2017. Conor hyped it like he was gonna shock the world, mocking Floyd's age, his defense, and his legacy. But when fight night came, he gassed out, got picked apart, and lost by TKO in the 10th round.
Mate, you're 40. Get that fucking phone out of your hand like a fucking kid. A 40-year-old man. What the fuck? He was wearing high heels yesterday.
Gay!
The build-up was legendary, but the result was a global embarrassment that showed he was nowhere near Floyd's level. Then came his biggest UFC rivalry, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Conor attacked Khabib's family, his religion, his country, crossing every line possible, and when the cage door closed in 2018, Khabib dominated him with ease, forcing him to tap out in the 4th round.
I've met many of them through my years. A man who grows in numbers, but on his own, and when confronted in a similar situation, cowers away. And that's what you saw with that little shite on the bus over there. He shit his jocks after doing something to his own countryman.
And if losing wasn't bad enough, the fight ended in chaos. Khabib jumped the cage, fists started flying, teammates stormed in, and the whole thing turned into one of the ugliest nights in UFC history. Conor wasn't just beaten, he was humiliated on the sport's biggest stage. But even before that fight, he had already shown his reckless side. The infamous bus attack in Brooklyn is still one of the darkest stains on his career. Conor flew across the world to hunt down Khabib, then threw a metal dolly at a bus full of fighters. Glass shattered, athletes were injured, and Dana White called it the most disgusting thing he had ever seen.
What was that call to Conor like after the bus incident? Smash the windows! You like beef?
He got arrested.
You gotta be the commish. That's when you gotta put a commish hat on.
That's the mentality, man. I mean, this guy, Khabib, and his crew ran into one of Conor's buddies. Slapped him. We called Conor and told him. Conor loaded up a bunch of thugs on a plane from Ireland. They jumped on a G650 and flew out here.
Rolling deep.
And, you know.
Yes! Oh, Lord, save me that safety!
Jesus.
This is what happens when street kids make some money.
Instead of a fearless warrior, McGregor looked like a violent thug. And that was only the beginning. Over the years, Conor has been in and out of police custody.
Tonight, our first look at body cam video from the Miami Beach police the day they arrested MMA fighter Conor McGregor. Here's CBS 4's Ty Russell.
He doesn't have anything on him, right? No, jewelry or anything?
Smashing a fan's phone outside a Miami nightclub, punching a man in an Irish pub just because he refused to drink proper 12, and facing multiple accusations of assault that dragged his name through courts and tabloids.
Conor, why'd you do it? Conor, you have an anger problem. Conor, you're letting down your fans.
Absolutely nobody! Yeah!
He went from being a fighter to a TMZ headline, losing respect with every arrest. Inside the cage, the downfall was even more brutal. After years away from the octagon, he returned to face Dustin Poirier in 2021. Conor predicted an easy win.
Straight business, man. This is, you're only a little. Your wife is your husband.
What? What the fuck?
You're only a little of a thing, a silly little hillbilly.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But instead, Dustin knocked him out cold, handing him the first KO loss of his career. The rematch was supposed to be redemption, but it turned into disaster. Conor snapped his leg in the first round, lying broken against the cage while screaming insults at Dustin's wife as doctors held him down.
I was boxing the bleeding head off him, kicking the bleeding leg off him. Usual shit doing to close the distance. This is not over. If I had to take this outside for him, it's all outside. I don't give a bother.
He said that he believes that one of the kicks that he checked is what broke your leg.
There was no check. There was not one of them I checked. Your wife is in me DMs, hey baby. Hit me back up on check you later on. We'll be at an underpart.
What was meant to be his great comeback ended in one of the most humiliating moments of his life. Even his business moves haven't been uncriticized. His whiskey brand, Proper 12, made him millions, but many fans saw it as a sellout move, focusing more on cheap liquor than fighting. Reports suggested he cashed out early, selling his majority stake, and to fans, it looked like another L chasing money over legacy. And through it all, the biggest loss might not even be inside the cage or the courtroom, but with his own public image. Conor McGregor was once the hero of Ireland, the underdog who inspired millions. But after years of scandals, broken promises, failed comebacks, arrests, and humiliations, even his most loyal fans began to turn against him. Instead of being celebrated as notorious, he became infamous. When you put it all together, the Mayweather defeat, the Khabib domination, the bus attack, the arrests, the Dustin Poirier knockouts and the broken leg, the whiskey controversy, and the collapse of his public reputation, it's clear that Conor McGregor has collected more L's than wins in the last 5 years. The question now is whether he can ever recover his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time, or if the era of McGregor is already finished. So what do you think? Is Conor still a legend despite all of these L's, or has his downfall already written the final chapter of his story? And before we continue exposing the biggest celebrity downfalls, make sure to subscribe to Celeb Anarchist so you don't miss the next video.